Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we're diving deep into the explosive twists awaiting us on Tuesday, September 30th, where family secrets erupt, hidden dangers lurk, and shocking returns shake Port Charles to its core. Let's start with the heart-pounding drama surrounding young James West, who's on the brink of a life-altering revelation about his father. Imagine the innocent world of this little boy shattering as the truth about Nathan West's miraculous survival comes crashing in. Felicia Scorpio, ever the protective grandmother, believes it's high time to pull back the curtain and reveal that James's dad isn't lost to the grave after all. She's pushing for honesty, convinced that shielding him any longer could cause more harm than good. But Damien Spinelli, stepping in as the cautious voice of reason, isn't so quick to agree. He's haunted by lingering doubts despite the ironclad DNA tests and fingerprint matches that confirm Nathan's identity. Spinelli might even speculate about some shadowy conspiracy, perhaps involving underground labs or mistaken identities from Port Charles's tangled past. He fears this bombshell could send James spiraling into confusion, tears, and questions that no child should have to face so young. Adding to the tension, Spinelli harbors a deeper, more personal anxiety. With Nathan back in the picture, could he lose Maxie Jones forever? After all, Nathan was her one true love, and Maxie's coma has left everything in limbo. Spinelli might confide in a close ally about his nightmares of Maxie awakening, only to rush into Nathan's arms, leaving him heartbroken and sidelined. This emotional roller coaster promises to unfold with raw intensity, forcing characters to confront buried feelings and redefine family bonds in unexpected ways. Shifting gears to the shadowy underbelly of Port Charles, Alexis Davis finds herself teetering on the edge of peril. A looming threat from Rick Lansing could turn deadly if he orchestrates a desperate escape attempt, perhaps fueled by his simmering rage and a hidden makeshift weapon smuggled into his confines. Picture the scene, Rick lunging forward in a bid for freedom, only for Alexis to be caught off guard, leading to a tense struggle that leaves her vulnerable. Enter Ava Jerome, who's never one to miss an opportunity for smug satisfaction. Ava might saunter in with her signature smirk, gloating over Rick's downfall and how his schemes have finally backfired spectacularly. But in a twist of reluctant alliance, Ava could step up to assist Alexis, suggesting a clever dose of extra sleeping pills to subdue Rick and restore order. This intervention might stem from Ava's own history of survival instincts, reminding her that sometimes enemies make the strangest bedfellows. As the dust settles, Alexis could reflect on the fragile line between control and chaos, wondering if Rick's imprisonment is truly secure or if more dangers await. In the shadows of Pentonville, this subplot adds layers of suspense, highlighting the ever-present risks in a town where grudges fester and alliances shift like quicksand. Over at the historic Quartermain crypt, a mysterious newcomer named Veronica Bard makes her entrance, approaching Tracy Quartermain with an air of calculated poise. Veronica introduces herself as Ronnie, claiming she's in Port Charles solely to pay respects to the family's legacy, perhaps sharing a fabricated tale of distant ancestry tied to the Quartermain's storied past. But Tracy, with her sharp instincts honed from years of corporate battles and family feuds, isn't buying the innocent act. She suspects Veronica's motives run deeper, maybe a grab for inheritance, a hidden agenda involving lost Quartermain artifacts, or even a connection to a long-forgotten scandal that could upend the family's fortune. Tracy might probe with pointed questions, dredging up old rumors of illegitimate heirs or buried treasures, turning the crypt into a battleground of words and suspicions. This encounter could spark a chain reaction, drawing in other Quartermains like Monica or Ned, who might dig into Veronica's background, uncovering fabricated documents or suspicious travel records. The air thickens with paranoia as Tracy vows to protect the family empire from interlopers, setting the stage for revelations that could rewrite the Quartermain family tree in dramatic fashion. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos is scrambling to solidify his alibi in the wake of mounting suspicions. Enlisting the help of the enigmatic Jacinda Bracken, he approaches her with a plea for backup, perhaps offering incentives like insider business tips or protection from her own troubles. Jacinda, playing along, attempts to sell their fabricated story to skeptical onlookers, weaving tales of coincidental meetings and shared alibis. Yet, doubt creeps in as she confides in Michael that their ruse might not have landed convincingly. Maybe a detective's piercing gaze or a witness's hesitant nod signals cracks in the facade. This uncertainty forces Michael to rethink his strategy, possibly leading to late-night strategy sessions or risky moves to gather more evidence. The pressure builds. reminding viewers of Michael's transformation from privileged heir to a man entangled in webs of deception, all while balancing his roles at ELQ and within his fractured family. In the investigative realm, Anna Devane receives a pivotal phone call that could crack open the case of Drew Cain's shooting. The tip points to fresh evidence, perhaps overlooked security footage, a discarded weapon with fingerprints, or a witness finally coming forward after weeks of hiding. Anna, with her unyielding determination, springs into action immediately, coordinating with law enforcement contacts and piecing together timelines that implicate surprising suspects. This development might tie back to larger conspiracies involving international intrigue or Port Charles's criminal underbelly, heightening the stakes for Drew's recovery and justice. Anna's pursuit underscores her role as the town's moral compass, driven by a personal vendetta against those who threaten her loved ones. Hospital corridors buzz with emotion as Nathan West, still recovering from his ordeal, encounters Willow Tate and discovers she's his niece. The revelation hits like a thunderbolt, with Nathan's eyes widening in disbelief as Willow explains her connection through Nina Reeves. He presses for details on Nina's surprise daughter, leading Willow to skim over the complicated history involving the notorious Nell Benson. Tales of switched identities, tragic losses, and family betrayals that shaped their lives. Willow might add invented layers, like whispered stories of Nell's manipulative schemes that nearly destroyed multiple lives, painting a vivid picture of the chaos Nina endured. Nathan, processing the shock, expresses sympathy, but also curiosity about mending fences. However, Willow confesses her strained relationship with Nina, citing unresolved grudges from past deceptions, leaving Nathan saddened and motivated to bridge the gap. This meeting humanizes Nathan's return, exploring themes of forgiveness and rediscovered kinship in a family long fractured by secrets. On the family front, Nina Reeves rallies her inner circle by summoning Liesl Obrecht and Britt Westburn. For a crucial update, she reveals Nathan's astonishing survival, detailing the curveball of his reappearance and urging them to unite as a fortified family unit. To navigate the fallout, Nina might embellish with emotional anecdotes, like visions of Nathan's death that haunted her dreams, now replaced by hope. The question lingers, is this Britt's first hearing of the news? Or has she been privy to whispers and must feign surprise to avoid suspicion? Liesl, with her fierce maternal instincts, could propose protective measures, perhaps involving medical checks or legal safeguards to ensure Nathan's safety. This gathering strengthens their bonds, hinting at future alliances against external threats, while delving into the complexities of loyalty and redemption. As the episode builds to its climax, Spinelli's fears amplify in his reaction to Nathan's resurrection. Felicia insists on transparency for James, but Spinelli advocates caution. Worried about the boy's fragile psyche amid such upheaval, he might invent scenarios in his mind, like James's potential nightmares or identity crises, fueling his reluctance. Beneath it all, Spinelli grapples with insecurity, terrified that Maxie's awakening could reignite her passion for Nathan, eclipsing their own connection. Despite evidence, Spinelli clings to skepticism, questioning if this Nathan is truly the man they knew or a clever imposter with ulterior motives. Next, we're uncovering the subtle yet electrifying moments from Monica's funeral that could signal massive shifts in Port Charles romances, especially that lingering spark between Dante and Lulu. Diving right into the heart of the episode, Monica Quartermain's funeral service unfolded as a tapestry of emotions, packed with those fleeting instances that eagle-eyed viewers live forthkind, that whisper hints of future plot twists without a single word spoken. Amid the somber tributes and tearful goodbyes, one particular exchange stood out like a beacon, potentially rewriting the romantic landscape for a beloved pair. Picture the scene, the Quartermain mansion filled with mourners, the air heavy with grief and reflection, as characters from all corners of Port Charles gathered to honor a matriarch, whose life was a whirlwind of love, loss, and legacy. These blink-and-you'll-miss-it details weren't just filler, they served as crucial breadcrumbs leading to ongoing storylines, from family feuds to hidden alliances, inventing a fresh layer. Perhaps a distant relative slipped in unnoticed, casting knowing glances that hinted at unresolved Quartermain secrets, adding an undercurrent of mystery to the proceedings. But the real gem was tucked away in a quiet corner, a moment so understated it demanded rewinds and slow-motion replays from fans, determined to decode its meaning. Flashback to Lulu Spencer's miraculous awakening from her 4-year coma last year, a return that should have been triumphant, but instead highlighted the fractures in her world. Her marriage to Dante Falconeri had already crumbled before the accident, leaving them in a limbo of separation and unspoken regrets. During those long, silent years, Dante sought solace in the arms of Sam McCall, building a profound connection that ended tragically with her passing, leaving him to navigate single fatherhood and lingering guilt. Longtime devotees of the Lanti supercouple, those passionate fans who've shipped them through kidnappings, betrayals, and near-death experience, have clung to the dream of reconciliation, imagining fiery reunions and heartfelt confessions under the Port Charles stars. Yet, both Dante and Lulu have repeatedly emphasized their commitment to a platonic path, focusing on amicable co-parenting for their children, Rocco and Charlotte, while steering clear of romantic entanglements. This stance has frustrated some viewers, who see their shared history as an unbreakable bond, perhaps even inventing scenarios where a family crisis forces them to confront buried feelings, like a invented subplot involving Charlotte's school troubles drawing them closer. The funeral's emotional peak arrived during Lucy Coe's poignant eulogy, where she waxed poetic about the enduring true love between Monica and her late husband Alan Quartermain, a romance that weathered scandals, affairs, and the chaos of Quartermain life. As Lucy's words hung in the air, evoking images of soulmates defying the odds, the camera panned across the room, capturing tender glances between established couples that reinforced the theme of lasting partnerships. There was Harrison Chase sharing a soft, affirming look with Brooklyn Quartermain, their eyes speaking volumes of the joy they've found amid recent turmoils, perhaps recalling their own wedding vows in a silent nod. Nearby, Ned Quartermain locked gazes with Olivia Falconeri, a reminder of their resilient marriage tested by business rivalries and family dramas, with an added invented detail of Olivia squeezing Ned's hand, symbolizing their united front against upcoming ELQ challenges. These moments built a collective warmth, underscoring how love persists even in grief, and set the stage for what came next, amplifying the significance of every subtle interaction in the crowded room. Then, in a heartbeat that sent shockwaves through the fandom, the focus shifted to Dante and Lulu, locked in a mutual glance that felt anything but coincidental. As Lucy declared, "True love, we all know it when we see it." Dante turned his head toward Lulu, his expression a mix of nostalgia and unspoken longing, while she met his eyes with a vulnerability that harked back to their glory days. This wasn't just a random edit, it was a deliberate choice by the show's creators, perhaps laced with invented backstory like Dante flashing back to their wedding day in his mind, or Lulu remembering a tender moment from before the coma. The exchange lingered just long enough to ignite hope, suggesting that beneath their friendly facade, embers of passion still smolder. Fans erupted online, dissecting the scene as a clear signpost toward revival, with one inventive addition being a subtle smile from Lulu that wasn't scripted, but felt improvised, hinting at her softening resolve. Social media lit up like the Port Charles skyline at night, with viewers on X, formerly Twitter, buzzing about the implications. One enthusiastic fan posted, "Love that the show moved to Dante and Lulu as Lucy said those words. True love, we all know it when we see it. That tells us the show is heading to Lanti," complete with emojis of hearts and fireworks, rallying the troops for a potential reunion arc. Another chimed in with equal fervor, quoting Lucy's line before exclaiming, "Pan to Dante and Lulu looking at each other. Are you serious? Stop teasing me, GH," capturing the frustration and excitement of being toyed with by the writers, and nailing the sentiment perfectly. A third fan shared, Dante and Lulu exchanging looks when Lucy talked about Alan and Monica being each other's true loves. Love how BLQ and Chase were in the shot too, pointing out how the framing included other couples to heighten the contrast and build narrative tension. These reactions weren't isolated. Forums overflowed with theories, some inventing wild plots like a time jump where Lanti teams up against a new villain, forcing them into close quarters and rekindling old flames, while the spoilers for September 29th teased developments with another iconic former supercouple who've gone their separate ways, perhaps hinting at reconciliations or fresh heartbreaks in the vein of Sunny and Carly's turbulent history. Spotlight on Dante and Lulu raises intriguing questions. Do these subtle cues mean the show is paving the way for Lanti to reclaim their throne as Port Charles's ultimate power couple? With Lulu's recovery still fresh and Dante grappling with his losses, the path forward could involve therapy sessions, shared custody battles, or even an invented romantic rival to stir jealousy. Fans are divided. Some crave the nostalgia of their epic love story, complete with dramatic rescues and passionate declarations, while others appreciate the maturity of their current dynamic, fearing a reunion might undo character growth. As General Hospital continues to weave its web of intrigue, moments like this at Monica's funeral remind us why we tune in for those sparks that could ignite full-blown infernos. Next, we're exploring the brewing storm of conflict between Drew Kane and the newly resurfaced Nathan West, where family loyalties could ignite a fierce rivalry that shakes up Port Charles. Kicking things off with the tantalizing hints from recent spoilers, the tension between Drew Kane and Nathan West appears poised to explode into a full-blown feud, promising fireworks for viewers who've been craving high-stakes drama. Nathan's shocking return from what everyone believed was certain death has already sent ripples through the town, but now it seems his protective instincts toward his family might position him as Drew's most formidable adversary yet. Imagine Nathan, still piecing together his fragmented life, stepping into the role of guardian for Nina Reeves and Willow Tate, determined to shield them from any threats. This development could stem from Nathan's innate sense of justice, honed during his days as a detective, now amplified by years of absence that left him with a renewed hunger to reclaim his place. Adding an inventive twist, perhaps Nathan stumbles upon old case files from his past that mirror Drew's manipulative tactics, fueling his resolve to confront the man head-on. As the storyline unfolds, this rivalry might not just be personal, but could entangle broader Port Charles power players, like the Quartermains or the Corinthos clan, turning individual grudges into widespread chaos. In the September 29th episode, Drew's encounter with Willow Tate sets the stage for an unexpected connection, as he quickly forges a bond with his niece despite the complicated family history swirling around them. Willow, known for her compassionate nature, extends a warm introduction to Nathan without letting her deep-seated issues with Nina color the moment, perhaps sharing light-hearted anecdotes about her life as a nurse to break the ice. This interaction highlights Willow's ability to compartmentalize pain, drawing from her experiences with loss and betrayal to offer Nathan a fresh start. Inventing a new element, Willow might gift Nathan a small token, like a family photo from her own collection, symbolizing her hope for genuine ties amid the dysfunction. However, the harmony could be short-lived as underlying tensions simmer, reminding everyone that blood relations in Port Charles often come with strings attached, pulling characters into webs of allegiance and resentment. Of course, Nina Reeves won't waste time before pulling Nathan aside for a comprehensive debrief on the tumultuous saga involving Willow and the late Nell Benson, laying bare the heart-wrenching details of switched babies, stolen identities, and shattered dreams. As Nina recounts the pain of discovering Willow as her surviving daughter, after Nell's villainous path led to tragedy, Nathan absorbs the weight of it all, his detective mind racing to connect the dots. This revelation might hit Nathan like a freight train, prompting him to reflect on his own lost years and how they parallel the family's fractures. To expand creatively, perhaps Nina shares invented diary entries from her darkest days, painting vivid pictures of her isolation and desperation, which stir Nathan's empathy and ignite his protective fire. Willow emerges as the sole beacon of hope in Nina's maternal world, yet the ongoing drama with Drew has erected insurmountable barriers, forcing Nina to plead with Nathan for intervention in mending what's broken. Once fully briefed, Nathan could channel his energy into orchestrating a reconciliation between Nina and Willow, viewing it as his first mission back in the land of the living. But realizing that Drew's influence stands as the primary obstacle, he might devise a strategic plan, starting with subtle conversations to gauge Willow's openness, while vowing to eliminate any disruptive forces. This determination stems from Nathan's core values of family unity, perhaps amplified by imagined flashbacks to his own childhood losses that mirror the current strife. Inventing further, Nathan could enlist an old ally from his police days to dig into Drew's background, uncovering minor scandals that bolster his case for keeping Drew at bay. By positioning himself as the bridge builder, Nathan risks stepping on toes, but his intentions remain pure, focused on healing wounds that have festered for far too long in the Reeves-Tate dynamic. Nathan's growing disdain for Drew would be particularly intense, rooted in how Drew has mistreated Nina and subtly manipulated Willow, clashing with Nathan's deep-seated commitment to safeguarding his loved ones. Drew's reputation for alienating those around him through aggressive business moves or personal vendettas only heightens Nathan's resolve to act as the family's shield. Picture Nathan observing Drew from afar, noting his calculated charm that masks ulterior motives, perhaps even overhearing a heated exchange that confirms his suspicions. Adding a creative layer, Nathan might recall a death encounter with Drew that left a bad taste, now resurfaced as fuel for confrontation. This special contempt could evolve into Nathan's defining trait post-return, transforming him from a grieving survivor into a vigilant protector ready to draw lines in the sand. On the flip side, Drew Kane, ever the opportunist in search of his next battle, might eagerly embrace Nathan as a fresh rival, seeing the challenge as a way to assert dominance in Port Charles's power games. Drew's history of clashing with heavyweights like Sonny Corinthos or Jason Morgan suggests he's wired for conflict, and Nathan's emergence provides the perfect outlet. This potential enmity could lead to electrifying showdowns, with verbal spars escalating to physical standoffs in iconic locations like the Metro Court. Inventively, Drew might counter by spreading rumors about Nathan's mysterious absence, questioning his stability to undermine his credibility. Fans can anticipate these heated face-offs delivering the kind of edge-of-your-seat entertainment that General Hospital excels at, blending psychological warfare with raw emotion. Following his recovery and discharge from the hospital, Nathan could waste no time hunting down Drew for a direct confrontation, laying down ultimatums to cease the chaos he's inflicted on Willow and Nina's lives. Envision Nathan cornering Drew in a dimly lit bar, his voice steady, but laced with warning, threatening consequences if the interference continues. This moment underscores how Drew often skates by unscathed, making Nathan's stand a refreshing call for accountability. To embellish, perhaps Nathan arrives armed with evidence from Willow's own words, turning the encounter into a battle of wills that leaves bystanders whispering. It's about time someone like Nathan, with his unyielding moral compass, forces Drew to face the repercussions of his actions. Though Drew rarely backs down from a fight, a twinge of fear might be warranted given the enigma surrounding Nathan's 7-year disappearance. Where lost memories could conceal a darker persona capable of unforeseen actions, Nathan's amnesia leaves gaping holes, potentially hiding deeds from a shadowy alter ego, maybe involvement in underground operations, or survival tactics that hardened him. This uncertainty adds a thrilling layer of suspense, as Drew contemplates the risks of provoking someone with unknown depths. Creatively expanding, whispers of Nathan's time away might include tales of a double life in a distant city, complete with aliases and narrow escapes, making him an unpredictable wildcard, no matter how it plays out. ABC General Hospital spoilers forecast a surge of hostility between Drew and Nathan.